Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the English news program on Dong Nai Provincial's essential television channels. During his work trip to the Mekong Delta province on July 5th, President Tolam visited and worked at the 25th Engineering Brigade. The 25th Engineering Brigade is the core unit of the 9th Military Region's Engineering Force with 9 station points performing tasks in 4 provinces and cities, namely Vĩnh Long, Đồng Tháp, Kiên Giang, and Cần Thơ City, including Thơ Châu Islands Commune and Tiến Hải Islands Commune of Kiên Giang Province. Speaking at the working sessions, President Tolam emphasized that in recent years, the armed force of the 9th military regions in general and the units of military regions, including the 25th Engineering Brigade in particular, have thoroughly grasped and closely follow key political tasks, strictly complied with leaderships and directions of higher party committee and local party committees, implemented well the combat readiness regime's regular and unexpected tasks, achieving many important results. The President affirmed that the officers and soldiers of brigade are vivid manifestations of the noble qualities of Uncle Ho's soldiers, worthy of heroic traditions of People's Armed Forces in the renewal period. The government has approved the planning of Dong Nai Province for the period 2021 to 2030 with a vision to 2050. This is the expectations of the province as well as many enterprises that have been, are, and will be implementing projects in Dong Nai. Thus, many projects that was previously stuck in the planning will continue being implemented. Dong Nai hopes that in the near future, projects will accelerate, helping the economy take off, taking advantage of the benefits from large technical infrastructure projects such as Long Thành International Airport, Dầu Giây Phan Thiết Expressway, Bến Lục Long Thành Expressway, Biên Hòa Vũng Tàu Expressway. Dong Nai aims for an average annual GRDP growth rate of about 10% in the period 2021 to 2030. By 2030, the per capita GRDP will reach $14,650. In the near future, the province will focus on implementing the 5 breakthrough tasks, effectively exploiting Long Thành International Airport, Biên Hòa dual-use airport in associations with the airport city models, basically completing a synchronous, modern, smart infrastructure framework adapting to climate change, building green industrial zone, transforming existing industrial zones towards reducing carbon emissions, investing in a central innovation zones, digital transformations projects, developing specialized educations and training complexes for the Southeast region, implementing urban, tourism, and high-class resort service projects. It is expected that by 2030, Dong Nai will become a civilized, modern province with a high growth rate, laying a solid foundations for the next stage to meet the criteria to become a city. At the same time, it will become the 3rd largest economy in Vietnam. Acting Chairman of Dong Nai Provincial's People Committee, Võ Tấn Đức, on July 5th, presided over the meeting at Bình Dương Environmental Water Joint Stock Company, Dong Nai Water Supply Joint Stock Company, and relevant department, branches, and localities on the Long Thành Water Highway project. The project is expected to have a total land use demand of more than 12 hectares in 3 areas, Biên Hòa City, Vĩnh Cửu District, and Long Thành District. The projects include items intake work, raw water reservoirs and water treatment plants, booster pumping stations and transmissions pipelines built along the corridors and under the existing roads with a total length of nearly 53 kilometers. The booster pumping stations have a completed capacities of 600,000 meters square per day and night, with Phase 1 having a capacities of 150,000 meters square per day and night. The total investment is expected to be over 5.5 trillion Vietnam dong, with Phase 1 being more than 3.9 trillion Vietnam dong. The project preparations period is 2024 to 2027. With project implementations, Dong Nai Provincial's People Committee, Võ Tân Đức, emphasized that the investors should further study the large of water demand of industrial zones as well as the new residential areas associated with Long Thanh Airport projects. Keir Starmer, leader of the Labour Party, achieved a resounding victory in the general elections in the UK, officially becoming the new Prime Minister of the country on July 5th, after meeting King Charles III at Buckingham Palace in London. Standing outside the office as number 10 Downing Street, Starmer acknowledged the scales of the challenges he faces after Labour's overwhelming victories in the parliamentary elections, ending 14 years of turbulent Conservative government. Speaking to supporters, Starmer also said he understood that many Britons have become disillusioned with politics under the Conservative parties. He said, "This mistrust can only be healed by actions, not words. I know that. In fact, whether you voted for Labour or not, especially if you did not vote, my government will serve you." The Labour Party won a large majority in the 650-seat parliament, forcing Rishi Sunak to resign as Prime Minister yesterday morning. Starmer then met King Charles and was officially appointed as Prime Minister. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization NATO is planning to expand relations with partners in the Indo-Pacific regions. At the same time, NATO is expected to announce the first joint document of cooperation with these partners, including Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand, at the summit at Washington, USA next week. The document is expected to detail how NATO will help these countries cope with threats, including cyber attacks and misinformation. South Korea President Yoon Suk-yeol is expected to attend the summit, using the opportunity to sound the alarm about the increasingly deep military relationship with Russia and North Korea. Meanwhile, North Korea previously criticized the joint exercises between the US, South Korea, and Japan as the Asian versions of NATO. That is all for today. Thank you for watching.